Thank you for meeting me here for game 4, and you're still here. I know.
I'm here.
Echo Fox is one game away from taking the series. 100 Thieves has their back against the wall, and kind of Yasui has been pushing him back there. He has been a beast on each game he's played. He has a very versatile champion pool, and we've kind of seen him popping off already.
Yeah, he had an excellent Silas game in game 1, and then in game 3, the Akali super popping off. Had some disgusting double kills, and the question is now on red side, what can they find? He tried the Zoe in game 2, did not work out as well, and they were against the Akali then. Do they leave it up, and he tries a specific counter into it, because there are some that do work okay, or do they ban it and let him get a different matchup?
And all right, we have 100 Thieves selecting on blue side as well this game, so continuing to switch it up. This is where they were able to find a little bit more strength in their gameplay, and we will have to see if they can take down the likes of Yasui, get that bottom lane 1 versus Lost and Phil, because Prismal and his support seem like they can continue to get a little bit more strength each time. Stunts Galio has been fantastic this game when he's actually getting a bit of a strong laning phase.
Yeah, and Fragus has been playing super well. I think he's been kind of the main star right now for 100 Thieves. His Kindred was super good in game 2, pretty good in game 3. Saligo has a pretty good Akali, like we were saying, in game 2, and FakeGod has had his moments as well. Even Prismal has had some pretty good games, so it's
good steal.
Finding the whole team's synergy to actually start coming back into the series. Maybe they need to go back to a little bit more early game focus. We'll have to see.
The sum of all the parts this time will be greater.
You hope so.
Yes. Chase, there's that Silas. Oh, the Thresh gets banned out again. Echo Fox has found ways into these fights, so I don't think they're too worried about hitting the hooks to make it happen. Nocturne is out. That was one of their big ways in last time. And that Draven, once again, taken away. Kindred finally taken away from Fragus, so we will see what he can do. Stun says, I know what I'm playing. FakeGod, give me Galio. Easy first pick there. They don't show too much, and they know what they want.
Interesting. No Akali first pick. I thought for sure we'd be seeing that.
Did Paleo Galio.
Yeah, instead he's going back down, probably with the Kaisa as well, to return to their bot lane that won them game 2. But it's interesting.
Dun, dun. Rakan? You don't say. I don't think they're going to pick Rakan, so they can easily get something here, unless they split it up and put Galio somewhere else, but I don't see that happening. So definitely an option to go with something else for Echo Fox.
Yeah, we'll have to see, because this is typically when they would have taken the Kindred or something at that point, but with that band, yeah, they are going to go lock in the Rakan. Seems like we're going back in time a little bit, back to game 2. There's the Kaisa, like we were saying, it's probably going to be locked in. The question is, what can Fragus get his hands on now? It's the Lissandra for Soligo, which had been left out, but there's the Kindred taken before the second ban phase. We were wondering if this was going to happen.
Kale, you scared me. You said Kindred.
I said Kindred. I meant Kale.
I was like, she was? Crazy.
I'm too excited.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, so this is...
I'm excited as you are. This is great.
Yeah, this is really interesting, because these were two champions that were obviously very important to the players, but we're getting banned out in the second phase and are oftentimes champions that can get lane countered. But it had come to the point now where people are saying, all right, forget the lane counters, give me my best champs.
So looking at 100 Thieves Academy now, we need to see a team where they can win fast. A team where they can just continue to add the pressure on and keep going.
That's what you would expect. And so...
That's where I'm putting my eggs in that basket.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they want to take into the top lane versus the Kale, and how much experience, FakeGod has. He is a guy who has ground out a fair amount of solo queue at points, and should be, with being a carry player, have something he wants to take into it. The Akali and the Aurelia are banned out, so those two are not options. And the other thing, too, of course, is the jungler. What jungler are you going to get to pair with it for these dives?
With the Akali Aurelia, the Jax stays alive here that Echo Fox Academy has been banning. I don't know if FakeGod will want to take that into a big fight matchup. We can definitely get the split push game on once he scales up. And the Rek'Sai is going to be banned from Panda, so he will have to choose a different jungler. Jarvan is still up. Not really a team you want to lock in. They can all get pretty good spots or stay at distance to be away from Cataclysm.
Yep, Rek'Sai, no surprise, pretty strong champ. There was an Elise ban, I think, in the first game. I don't remember who did it.
It was second phase.
FOXA grabs the Skarner. We'll see. So here's the top side answer, right? We're assuming Soligo, who plays Lissandra a number of times, that is probably going there. Probably not a top Lissandra. Could always be, but assuming not, this will be the top side of the map to answer and try and hold down the Kayle.
He wants to keep Skarner in the Cataclysm. Yeah, I believe Fragus had the Elise banned against him second phase from FOXA Academy coming in. Oh, that would have been 100 Thieves. Yeah, you're right. I tried to figure it out and place it in my head, but then I just completely derailed myself. There's the final lock-in for Prismal and Jarvan over to Fragus. Now, Stunt, what will you choose for your mid laner? It's going to be a Rise.
It will be a Rise, huh?
All right. So it could be Lissandra top, Galio bot. I guess that's not too bad against the Kali. You keep safe. She shrouds. You W.
Well, Akali's banned, so it's.
Or yeah, not Akali. Sorry, Kayle. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, so.
Still good against her shroud. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure because I mean I'm going by low Analytics Diamond Plus here, but according to that, it is a 60% win rate for live Kayle.
Malarkey.
So that doesn't sound like a good matchup for Rise. We'll have to see if that's the case. I would have believed it if someone told me Rise was a good matchup in the Kayle. You have the range advantage early on. You have some push. You can lock her in place for dives with the Jarvan.
Once you're ranged, though, even if you're Rune Prison, you're just taking shots in the face, just like he's hitting, right?
Yeah, but
whose damage is better there?
I mean, before Kayle hits level 11, yours is because she can't stay ranged initially. So you have that advantage. She can throw out a Q and an E, I guess, but that's like the only thing she can try and do in trade. So I'm assuming this is good for the Rise, but according to Analytics, it's Kayle. So we'll see how that ends up playing out.
Lorlo on his second game of Kayle. Look at our fake god here. And also, Rise is not in that champion pool. So bringing out Rise and Kennen here, the first time in playoffs for himself. Really flexing that champion pool and showing what he can play. See if it works out for the team. Heading into game, this is going to be match point for FOXA. They've come out strong 2 games now in games 1 and 3. With 100 Thieves able to find their ground and some good footwork in game 2. That happened a lot out of the bottom and mid lane. Let's see if it can happen again for them all across the board.
Yeah, the kind of thing we forgot to mention with how much we're talking about the Kayle. Corki locked in for Yasui, going for the late game scaling again. They did it last time when they had the Kayle going for Sylas as well as the Xayah Rakan. And here they go again. And they have a frontliner in Panda on the Skarner. A champion that's a little harder to go all in on, so this could be pretty good for them, where as long as they can survive some of these early game deficits, they should do good. Corki's fine into Lissandra, especially with Cleanse. You're not really going to be in any threat of dying. It's just that the Lissandra can roam around the map a little bit better than you can, obviously. They also have the Jarvan, so stronger early game dives. And like we're hypothesizing, this should be fine for Rise, at least in the early portions of the laning phase. So, not actually going to do an ability there. So we'll have to see, because this is a little scary for FOXA that they don't really have any winning lanes potentially, because the bot lane felt very influenced by jungle matchup the 2 times we had seen it before.
Alrighty, Fragus. Seeing Panda, I figured he'd be on the top side of the map. Throws out a ward just before he leaves. Share of gold. Nice job, buddies. And again, man, that's a heck of a gold lead. I'm gonna bring that up.
40, oh yeah,
45 gold in the lead.
Call it, game 5.
Start the scrapes. See bone plates go off in the mid lane. Yasui starts Gatling gun, so he can just get some hits on the minions and keep Soligo at bay. Boss next, and he'll just keep himself safe in mid. Footwork for him. Words against. Now I can't remember. Resolve. What is it?
Aftershock.
Thank you. It sounds like Frozen Shatter. I don't know why I was saying Frozen Shatter.
You saw Lissandra, and you're like,
oh
yep, dirty Aftershock.
Aftershock, so she'll have some nice resistances when she gets in. Panda starting top. We're getting a lot less jungler intervention than we did last game. Fragus and Panda always in each other's faces here in the first 3 games. Looks like things are all quiet on the home front this time. Oh, wait. No, he's just getting Scuttle.
Yeah,
Never
just
mind.
Going up for that Scuttle. A little bit better push early on for the Kaisa and the Galio, being able to Q spam the wave a little bit. You will get the level 2 advantage after this creep. Good job by FOXA backing off, not getting engaged on.
Pressure. Yusui's not going to like these first early levels until he can start Phos farming. Fragus will actually start to get onto the blue buff, and here I think they'll take your advice this time, Mark. Do that vertical jungling. It's going to be a gank first before, though. Flash there for Fake God. And it doesn't look like they want it right away. Interesting. Could have just thrown the Rune Prison down and walked away from Panda there.
Yeah, that was interesting. I think Panda didn't aim his E quite properly. Ended up hitting a creep, and then the way the Skarner E works, when it hits something, it slows down. So maybe misaimed it a little bit. Fake God just walks out of that one pretty easily. And given that he spent time on that gank as opposed to potentially going for the blue buff or anything, he has to vacate the top side of the map. And given Fragus stole a lot of the bot side of the map, there's not really too much left for Panda to do. Just going to grab his Wolves and his Grom.
Thieves have that push. Not going to be too bad. No real CS leads in each lane. A nice fight between Yusui here and Soligo, farming HP bars as well as minions in the mid lane, hit for hit. Love to see that. What a minion wave piled up here. Holy moly, they're going to get a quick dive up here onto Lorlo. He gets a flash to get into position. Might get the kill, but Fake God, he gets out before the turret is charged up. Great job by 100 Thieves to get first blood.
Yeah, what a great dive timing, too, with such a massive wave built up, and after knowing that they forced Panda back because they saw him, they know that that's such a free dive, and they're able to punish Lorlo pretty heavy early on. Does still catch up pretty evenly in CS, because it seems like Fake God didn't get everything, but it's the XP that Kale cares the most about.
That's a heck of a wave.
Oh, yeah, that's a fatty wave. Just, it's, you know, that's kind of the dive we were talking about. Just lock him in place and go. And this is also what we're saying needs to happen against Kale. It's not enough to force flashes or keep him 20 CS behind, because she is a champion that will get ridiculous with levels. So if you're not actually ending the game quickly or putting her massively behind or ending up very far ahead in gold, you will be in trouble.
Definitely a champion you can get the ganks onto. No real escape. Kind of just has to hang out. You saw Lorlo trying to use the turret for click denial.
Yeah.
You try to hide behind it. Doesn't really work when you're getting flag and dragged on. Both use teleport to get back in that top lane, and Lorlo's not too affected by that. Just kill money going over to Fragus and Fake God. CS is still pretty even. Quick back and forth between bot lane as their interactions have also been a lot quieter this game. Not even for going in on each other. No kills or fighting, as it's just farming. You get to that point where it's the kind of I don't want to lose mentality, but also tempers your aggression.
Yeah, you think you're ahead in the series, you can take it slow, but I mean, they got to be pretty on point. That minion wave was bouncing off the wave.
Oh, right in the eyes of the enemy. Panda's there for the counter, but they're still looking at Lorlo as a priority target here. 100 HP. The autos come in down to 75, and he's going to stay alive as Panda's there to help him out, but they are losing a bit of the advantage in the top lane.
Yeah, so the minion wave will always bounce after getting pushed into the turret like that, and so Fragus makes a repeat gank up there knowing the minion wave's pushing away. Panda does the right thing, saying, okay, it's pushing away, they're going to repeat gank him, and I need to keep my Kale in this game. See, bot lane getting a little close here. Yeah. So he goes up there to hope that they get there beforehand, but both junglers are there at the same time, and Panda has to spend a lot of his resources making sure Lorlo doesn't die versus I'm trying to kill the Ryze. He has to flash on top of him. He also has to walk in front of the Ryze queue to make sure Lorlo can get out of there. Yep. It does, you know, keep Lorlo alive, though. Is it worth the flash? Is Kale that much of a hyper carry that your jungler just camping top to keep him alive? Is that worth it? We'll have to see.
I do like the rinse and repeat. Not a lot of times you see somebody go back with even in the 5 minutes of the flash being down or any cooldowns they run, but it's just people are like, yeah, you're cool with that? Have the advantage in lane. The repeat's nice. I like to at least see it from that point of view. 7 minutes coming up on the clock. It looks like Fragus is trying to kind of stay in that back pocket mentality. Always behind one of his laners after a camp, making sure that they're safe and that lane just going the right way. He gets seen, but he knows now where Panda is, so a little privy information for both teams there.
We'll have to see what they try and do, because top lane has been the focus so far, but you can also try to snowball through bot lane potentially. Soligo being 6 7 now, but having access to his ultimate and able to roam around the map, this is where we'll get to see how they try and blow this game open, because they are definitely trying to blow this game open with Alessandra and Dragon.
No real reason to push this one. Prismal's saying, yep, we'll let it stack up, have some time to roam or back if we need to. They have control over that lane pretty well. No lead, but they do have that first move, and a lot of times that's what counts. It has Mountain Drake in their favor. They're about 7.5 minutes in. 100 Thieves are going to be able to pick up some good objective control here on Mountain Drake.
Yeah, it feels like it's pretty telegraphed too. Echo Fox are aware this is going down, seeing them get the push in the bot lane. They ward it just to double check. They see, aha, it is in fact going down.
We're right, dang. Just like I wish that was me. Not terrible. Mountain Drake isn't going to do too much as long as 100 Thieves can't get to the turrets and the objectives. And Echo Fox knows they kind of need the late game anyways. Get that KO going. So it's going to be tough.
Yeah, interesting to see Panda actually not opting in for that gank. He's just going to go for some vision control. Or not, but he had the blast cone over to take, and if you assume there's a ward in that brush, sometimes with where the wave is, the blast cone does give you enough of an inside track plus Skarner speed that you can get on top of the flashless rise, especially if your Kale starts out with a slow from the Q or something, but they opt not to go for that play. A little surprised to see that, given that they knew Panda was on the bot side, or excuse me, Fraggus was on the bot side.
Aggression in. There's no real good time to try that. Yasui always having Valkyrie to get himself to safety. Soon the package. This will be able to create a little divide in these fights. Hovering top side. Nice job here by Panda. He's trying to get Fake God to go all in, or at least use Rune Prison so he can get himself in. Like he can't slalom through the minions to make that one happen.
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to get the wave in. Not like a very half-hearted gank, but now Fraggus is up here.
Put the Scorpion in a cage. How far can he go? A bit more damage. 300 down to 200 now. A few more hits from Fake God. Nice body block by Lorlo to make that not happen. And they get themselves out alive. But still, when Fox wants to make something happen, it seems like 100 Thieves this game is having the upper hand no matter what.
Yeah, Lorlo being the homeboy this time, blocking the Qs for Panda to make sure he gets out alive there, as well as having the ultimate and heal. And once again, Echo Fox, you saw how half-hearted that gank was onto Fake God. They're like, I really don't care if we kill you or not. We're just trying to get this minion wave in so it resets and Kale can keep getting XP. And of course, Fraggus is up there as well because, hey, the wave's pushed out for the second time, and they get into another 2v2 that Echo Fox are able to navigate themselves out of. And that's all they need to do probably to win this game. Avoid fights.
Keep Lorlo alive for now. He has the Scepter, first item that he buys to say, hey, each minion's going to give me a tiny bit of health. And that's exactly what I need right now. But Panda's help is also really keeping him on the up and up here. Has died once, but he's doing a great job for all the pressure that's been top lane. See teleports and summoners in the way of flashes up pretty much around the map. All right, 10.5 minutes. I might see a pretty big fight coming up here for our next Drake. Another mountain. It'd be nice for 100 Thieves to stack. Right now, I'm pretty sure they're happy with the way the lane's going.
Yeah, I think 400 Thieves, that's actually probably the best Drake you can get. Because you're already winning laning phase. You don't need an Ocean to help stabilize your laning phase. Double Infernal would be really sweet, but the question is against 3 late-game, long-range DPS champions, are the Infernals actually going to push you over the top? I'm not convinced of that, but if you can get double Mountain and transition into early Barons, that's probably your best way to actually win this game. So I think 100 Thieves should be pretty happy with this. As much as people usually love the Infernals, I think Mountain is something that they should fight very hard over, especially because Kale, not 11 yet, should not actually want to fight for that objective.
Multiple options once that time comes. A good taunt to not have to go too far with Prismal here. He gets the heal down immediately. He's pretty healthy. Killer Instinct outside the fight to get away from most of the damage. That is the storm to rain on the parade of 100 Thieves, but Lost is going to be lost in that fight. Phil's now the one going down, and I don't know how they do it, but Prismal and Stunt continue to stay alive in these dives.
Super well played by 100 Thieves, punishing Echo Fox's aggression.
Again, out to the mid lane. Quick Valkyrie over the wall. Ooh, he just missed the Rune Prism. You saw the block there as he was clicking through the brush. And Yasui just got out of range there, which stopped Fake God from being able to connect. Good push on the top side as Lorlo has that focus down, knowing the team might be taking some hits. He's got to do what he has planned to do in the top side. Rift Herald to mid has a lot of action just started off here at 12 minutes in.
Oh boy, that bot lane play. You look at it and say, okay, it's 3v2, and you know that we think the jungler is top side. I think he was handing the blue buff off at the time, or maybe they had seen him in river. Either way, he's not anywhere nearby, so you think this is going to be free, but the taunt after grabbing him makes it super hard to kill him, plus he's able to get out with the ultimate, which gives him a shield as well. Prismo plus the heal, not even close to dying, and then the TP finishes for both Soligo and Fake God, instantly reacting to that play. And it does buy Lorlo time alone. Maybe he should have TP'd too, but with the champion so focused on just getting levels, even if he showed up there and drops his ultimate to keep someone alive for a little longer, I think they're still dead. So that's just the play you look at and say, you're the late game scaling team. 100 Thieves hasn't made any good plays against you. They have double TP up.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No need to force.
Don't force that.
There's the package for Yasui now as they clean up mid. 135 to 134 there with the 550 gold bounty on Soligo as he is 2-0-0. Feeling great, and he has been playing great for 100 Thieves this series. Whoa, almost getting sideswiped there by Soligo's claw. It looks like we're going to get that next Mountain Drake on the plate. In goes Phil. Can he get out alive, though? Gets himself a stopwatch to keep alive. Coming out of stasis, he will go down, and now it's going to be a kill for Prismal. Looking good this game as Lost now picks himself up a kill, and there is one now for Soligo. Just a back and forth. Punches are being thrown, and they are dropping left and right. The double kill now for Soligo. Yasui cannot come up with that last kill as Catherine Rain goes a bit down towards the mid.
Bit of a disaster there for Echo Fox. Even though it looks just like a 2 for 3, you need to remember up on the top side, Fake God is still pushing, getting chip damage down on that turret, as well as that was your TP advantage play. That's when you say, okay, they made a play with their TP, but now we have ours. They go before Lorlo's 11. He's also a flanking KL, not exactly where you want to be. His ult actually did a lot of good damage, but it's a hopeless fight for them. And now Soligo has grabbed the mid lane turret. Fake God's gonna grab this top one, and that gold lead pretty big now.
Capitalizing on one good play for 100 Thieves. We'll see it again. It looks like Phil wanted it. The bunch up is what he wanted there for all three, and it looked good.
Yeah, bot lane forcing yet another play, this time because they have the TP advantage, but this is the Kale. Pre-16 gets that 1E hit, that gets a quick kill, but then after that can't do anything to the marksman. Lands the plasma stack here, so Prismal's thinking, I'm gonna flash the wall and my Q because it's stacked on him, or because my plasma stack, my Q will prioritize him, but didn't actually get close enough, so it looked pretty silly as he just flashed Q to minion. But his idea was smart.
Kathy and Drizzle.
It was the right idea.
Not too much. 10 plates taken.
Ouch.
That's the goal you were talking about. 1,600 on top of those fights as well. It was just a 500 gold bounty for Soligo. Now he's up to 800 with those next 2 kills that he got, roaming down to the bottom side of the map. Yasui not doing too bad himself with 2 assists. Probably would want those to be the forward number, but still doing good and keeping himself alive and keeping up in CS. I'm seeing it here for Echo Fox. They want this win, but it looks like 100 Thieves could push them to that game 5.
Yeah, Echo Fox being an early game focused team, it's one of those things where your draft doesn't match seemingly your inherent play style, where you're like, we like fighting, and Lost is aggressive, and Panda seems pretty aggressive. Let's fight bot lane. It's like, no, you're winning the game by going even.
Yeah.
And all these plays that keep getting turned around, you need to realize are started by them. I'm not someone to say, like, don't go aggressive.
For sure.
But, like, this is a game where you're already hard winning by protecting your top lane.
Lorlo can get to that point. He has lost his turret, so things become a little bit harder top side. And he's actually drawing quite a party up there as well. Soligo's going to have the cutoff onto Lorlo, but the rest of the team stopped. Realm Warp forward's not going to give him enough distance. Looks like they're going to have to call off the cavalry on this one, but 100 Thieves is hungry to keep this momentum going. They don't want Echo Fox a chance to get back in.
I'm going to keep trying to make plays up there, but Lorlo has crested into being a real champion, has his level 11. Do you remember the name of it?
Hers? Arise? Arisen.
Arisen.
Yeah.
All right. She is Arisen. She is a full champion.
Risen and then Transcendence.
Yes, Lorlo is ready to participate in team fights a little bit now. Also has his Gunblade going still for that AP build. Last time we saw Natural Tooth into Lichbane, adding a little bit more burst damage to it.
Yeah, I always remember she's like arisen. Now she has range. She's cool. Like,
That's a good way of remembering it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she gets crazy. We'll see if we can see Lorlo 5 levels away. We had the countdown last time. T-minus 5 levels until Lorlo explosion. Ooh, Yasui can't get out with the size of that Valkyrie. In as well comes stunt. They use quite a bit to take him out, but they're still going to have the aggression and line on mid lane. Yeah,
Yasui's the one who ends up exploding there. Now they have an inside track on the mid lane turret. Prism was going to get a lot of damage down on this one. Probably be able to take it. Loss is coming from base, though, to try and protect. Phil.
This flex by Fraggy. He's trying to walk in front. That's not going to stop him from getting in. They lose Prismal immediately. That's a lot of the DPS. Illegal still there, able to fire in the frozen shards. And Panda now goes down as Fake God's able to secure that kill nicely under the turret. They don't have a minion wave just yet, and looks like they'll peel back. I don't think they'll be waiting. Maybe they will. Over to the Raptor Pit for a little bit of HP if he can smite those in. Kind of just taking too much. There he goes. And the minion wave is there for them to collapse. There should be another turret in the mid lane here. Maybe not. Fragus was kind of really focused on those Raptors, and it lost a little bit of pressure, so they get pushed off, and Echo Fox keeps it alive. That'll fall in a few minutes with the next pressure from 100 Thieves, most likely.
Yeah, that was looked like a crazy force, but after seeing it happen, I think it could have worked with a little bit different. They have this super aggressive engage, and you have the Kale ult again, similar to game 1 when they won with it. But they did it before the enemy team was actually answering back with anything, so the Kale ult, I don't think, negated as much damage as it could have. Take another look at this. You see Phil just run through the slow. Both guys do run through the slow of Jarvan, go over the taunt to grab him, and then there's the ultimate before any damage was really getting focused back onto Phil, and now he's knocked up and gonna get comboed. Could have potentially saved it a little bit longer. Did actually negate more damage than I initially thought, so maybe that was the fine usage by Lorlo, and maybe it's just the result of picking a 4v5.
Yeah. Those ults are difficult, like Cosmic Radiance and things you have to place, and time becomes super hard to use, especially when you don't get to use them very often in that coordinated of a fight, but you know she's going to carry late game.
It's much easier as a single champion to go, I know how to get my maximum damage out.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder as a champion to say, how do I negate the maximum damage by the enemy team on the right target?
Yeah.
I don't care if you do 2,000 damage to my support. I care if you do 1,000 to my marksman. And it suddenly becomes so much more complicated to try and judge that versus...
You have an extra mini game in the fight.
Right. As a Syndra, you say, I do 2k damage. I kill the guy from 2,000 HP. Click. This is, when do I drop it? Who's the most important to drop it on? A lot more variables.
The situation is always changing. Lorlo and the team now trying to repair a bit of this early game. They have fallen behind now 5,500 gold and 6 kills. There's another Drake going over the side of 100 Thieves. 2 mountains and an Infernal. As they're able to now tear down these structures with a bit more power to champions with that Infernal. Down to Soligo on the bot side. He should be able to just claw his way to safety, Predator shoes or not. And that actually draws pressure to Baron on the top. Panda was chasing down the bot 20 minutes in, and they go for an instant Baron. They're going to knock it down short of 25 seconds after it spawns, and that is 100 Thieves grabbing Baron.
And this whole time, they're still chasing after Soligo, but they actually can't get onto him. Has a nice crawl.
It's a hell of a chase.
Claw over the wall into a flash route into another claw.
They still want to see where he's going. Scrying Orb going over the wall, or Alteration Orb, I should say. And they get mid down to half HP. The top side's being pushed in by Fake God. He's going to have a nice wave to hit this turret and not too much pressure. Probably gets about 10% HP before he's forced off of this. Doesn't have vision, so he may just leave.
Man, that bot play is just a head scratcher to me. Double Mountain Drake team with a Kaisa. Your Skarner should never go on the bot side of the map with Baron up at this point in the game. I can't. And then they just I understand that point. Once they realize they messed up, rather than having the Skarner collapse, like, let's get the Syndra. Didn't work out. And this whole game for Echo Fox is like that meme image where they stick their own thing in the bike spokes to make themselves flip over it. Yeah, exactly. This is Echo Fox's game.
I see.
They couldn't get out of their own way.
Sometimes you pedal hard enough and it just snaps through, but it takes a few times. We'll see if they can. They have the strength. Soligo now getting caught this time. And I think second time around, Echo Fox knows how to take him down. He's going to still provide a good bit of damage. They throw the ult down too. We did see Fragus and Stunt both use their ultimates to get onto Lost in the mid lane. They blew his fat flash, but he's still able to protect mid lane turret here with Yasui on that Corki. Great job and good clear on the side of Echo Fox. So they have that going for him once it gets to the turrets. But Baron's still on the top side here for Fake God, and he has one thing in mind.
I'm really surprised that 100 Thieves didn't actually collapse on that bot play. It was so far away from their base that Fox Academy, after completing it, would have been horribly out of position. And you have the Galio and Kaisa, who can close from extremely long range. Plus, they had TP on Rise. So that's a play that they could have collapsed on. Maybe the Lissandra still dies, but at that point, everyone should be so out of position. You can clean up a couple of them. Instead, 100 Thieves try and make the objective focus play, push down mid. But with Corki and Xayah, there's actually so much wave clear, it's pretty hard to force an objective down if that's what you're going for.
All right, so we have 2 more levels until Lorlo takeoff. It's going to be his Transcendence, and then he gets Zealous upgrade, which he gets another 10% attack speed once he gets his 5 stacks of his auto attack. And he gets 50% on that for the charge. It's pretty crazy. That's what we saw him doing when he's able to protect the base last time against Soligo's Rise, as well as Prismal's Callista. This time, they're going to be running in the base with a Rise from the side of 100 Thieves and Prismal's Callista. I'm sorry, Fake God's Rise and Prismal's Callista. Kaisa, wow, words.
Yep, giving up on
tough mark.
It's tough. They gave up on the 1-3-1, group up as 4, so they don't get picked off again. And Fake God up in the top lane is the one guy splitting away. You can see Fox has a hard time forcing, but they found a flank.
Fills in from the side. He gets the ultimate from Lorlo right away. This is the damage they need to negate, but can they even add it? The health bar. So 100 Thieves just seem too tanky, and they're chipping away at a brick wall. Echo Fox cannot knock that wall down. Stunts the lowest member, and it looks like he's going to stay alive outside the base, but still hover with the team for that final taunt, that final Justice Punch, and a few Winds of War if he can get him in. Claw goes through as the final touches on the top inhibitor cannot be put through. The next minion wave comes in, and this should be the hit. Prismal down very, very low, and they have to be careful. About 1,000 HP between 4 members here on the top side. Fake God also very low, and this is the fight that could turn the game and give Fox a lot of time on the map. 100 Thieves is really, really toying with death right now as they keep going back in. Fake God keeps himself alive with the shield as it comes through, and they're still playing with their food.
Yeah, just barely able to get alive there. And surprisingly, Echo Fox, despite that engage in the mid lane not working out, actually are able to protect their top inhibitor, excuse me. So they only lose 1. It was, you get to see that combo that they like to go for, where the KO ultimate on the Rakan, you round everyone up. And it's something I forgot to mention in the first game, but it actually has an extra synergy of not just my engager can't be killed, but the KO ultimate also deals damage now, and so you round everyone up with the Rakan charm. Yeah, you round everyone up, and because he's AP KO, there's a little bit more burst into that ultimate, and you drop that right down on top of them. So it's a pretty interesting combination. It's just a little early in the game for it. Doesn't feel like it's quite off the ground, as well as the fact that Panda did not find an ult target yet again.
It's one of those ults that causes a lot of chaos. I, in general, just like Rakan because it's a lot like Ken, and you run and you cause chaos, you do your thing, kind of get out, kind of get stay in there, whatever. But with Kale, you can advance that. And 100 Thieves saw it immediately, was able to react, and that becomes even one of the cooler things, is being able to see how people can manage these situational ults that cause so much chaos. Claw goes forward, but they don't want the engage. Panda trying to flex the Skarner Saws. He gets himself back, and a zombie ward comes out, so they keep a bit of vision. Top lane pushed here by Fake God. This is that pull your hair out moment when you're like, just fight us, stop split pushing. You have to choose when to fight, and it looks like Fox Panda does not want to wait any longer. Justice Punch goes in, and 100 Thieves says, we'll give you the fight, as they go right back with Cataclysm. Panda's the mark for Prismal now as they get taken down. And also, Fragus falling in the fight. So 1 for 1 so far, but that inhibitor is going to mean the upper hand for 100 Thieves as they are inside the base of Echo Fox.
Fake God doesn't care at all about that fight. Could have TP'd in. Once again says, nah, I'm good. Takes the top lane inhibitor. And a 1 for 1 junglers traded out.
It's time for Baron.
Yeah, they actually are going to be able to use the Realm Warp to collapse in on it quickly. No smites for either team.
Bit of vision there. They are standing just on the side of the Scuttle Crab. Nobody's going to be heading for this one, though. No super package play coming in from Yusui.
And not able to contest that Baron. Would have been very hard for them to do. Panda is only their real tank. He's the one you want kind of face-checking things, and he's dead, so a little scary to push forward. Instead, they're going to try and get more gold and XP onto Lorlo, who is splitting down the bot lane. Yusui also up in the top lane, trying to get to level 16 desperately. Both those champions, pretty good power spikes, and you know, it doesn't feel hopeless yet for Echo Fox, as crazy as that is to say. Down.
Absolutely. I want to see what this Kale can do.
Down 7,000 gold. That would normally be pretty terrifying, but how crazy is Kale Corky Zaya late game? I imagine pretty crazy.
You still have a lot of damage. Always the chance to pick off, and I see one quick silver sash. The rest of the teams does make it hard with Zanya's and the ability for Ryze to just point and click you when you're Skarner. That makes things very difficult, but options, like you said, they're there. Windows are small, and we've seen these teams hit those this series for both 100 Thieves and Echo Fox. Top lane's gonna go down, or bot lane's gonna go down here for the last outer. The turrets that Echo Fox just has to give up before their last stand.
Yeah, and they don't really have much time to wait here. If they lose 3 inhibitors, it feels pretty doomed. So Kale is going to TP in, no 16 just yet, and they want to force a fight down this bot lane.
See the Zeke's Convergence purchased through instead of Knight's Vow this time for Lost and Phil, as there's a lot of synergy between these ultimates being used quite a bit in the fights. Package is up for Yasui. He may be able to split one person and Valkyrie out, but it is just a decision to clear now. Make sure mid's not filing in with bottom. Top is already being pushed in by Fake God. So many things on the plate for Echo Fox to think about, and they just want to engage onto one person. The flag and drag keeps Fragus in safe distance, and they're able to hit that turret once again, just turning it into shambles with the rest of the base. Mid comes up, a little saving grace, but bot inhibitor will fall.
Yeah, it feels like there's going to be 3 inhibitors down for the side of Echo Fox. Kale did ding 16. She is transcended. Is it Armageddon?
This is exactly when 100 Thieves started getting pushed back. They were inside the base, but it was a little bit more split with the Baron call. Now all of 100 Thieves are inside the base with Baron this time. Really stacking the cards right. And it looks like Lorlo is able to get a good bit of wave clear on. Huge damage from Kale. This is where it becomes hard, and they have to choose the right fight. Phil!
Oh, Phil!
Phil's playing the cat and mouse game over here. Tries to get a good ultimate in. Actually gets himself the grand entrance back to the back of the fight. In comes Stunt. That's going to knock up one. Panda's in a bad spot, but the damage able to be delivered by Lorlo here from the outside of the fight. They're shredding down 100 Thieves. A double kill for him. Killer Instinct isn't going to be enough, and he may just have killed himself getting into the fight.
on the base.
Fake God's doing huge damage, though, off the ball right now. Top side of the map, inside the base of Echo Fox. He is shredding down Nexus turrets. The last one will fall, and the Nexus is open on the side of Echo Fox.
There's no structures remaining, but there's no way for 100 Thieves to end the game right now. They are going to need to return to this base in a minute, and you have to wonder if this influx of gold was enough to put them over the top. It was still a very hard fight, as Phil ends up in a bit of a strange position to begin it, but Lorlo is there. He has his ultimate available. Drops it onto Panda, who is getting focused down by everyone. And they're starting to be able to collapse onto the enemy team, but you see Prismal is just such a threat right now. Lorlo, supposed to be the late game god, can't actually 1v1 him at this point in the game, needs help. But that's what they have with Lost and Yasui. They just didn't have any more CC to get on top of Prismal. And Fake God, like I said, that whole time has gone into the full-on 1v9 split push Ryze mode. Has not been in any of these recent fights.
I feel like we come back to the screen there and we see Lorlo just surveying the damage in the base, walking around, be like, I couldn't save this. Next time. He'll do his damnedest here. Level 16, he is big, and you can see him doing just about 3,000 damage in the fight with Lost. They have threats, they have the damage dealers, but that's a 4v5. You saw 0 damage from Fake God on the top, so that also means it's going to be tough.
I mean, you have to see, I think it was also 5,000 damage for Prismal.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's bringing more than a single champ, it feels like, with how fed he is. And he's actually the only one on the enemy team with a QSS. Everyone else is available to be ulted by the side of Panda, so they have to be really smart about not mispositioning or anything like that. It's the kind of thing where you're trusting everyone else to not die so quickly. You have a stone plate. Lysandra shouldn't be in the front line anyways unless she's clawing in, and at that point, you're kind of the one picking the fight. And if they get Galio, I guess they're saying, great, you got Galio.
Oh no, Lorlo's gonna go down. This is the factor they need, that key to win the fight. Lorlo down to 200 HP, and he falls to the hands of Fragus as they flash in to get the fight underway. That's gonna be Phil falling as well. Yasui's going away with 200 HP, is lost. Is absolutely gone in the blink of an eye. That's going to be the Nexus turret going down. 100 Thieves keep the game alive. They keep the series alive. And we're headed to game 5.
Huge bounce back game, 400 Thieves.
Let's go.
The blue side team undefeated so far in the series.
I'm liking this series quite a bit.
Yeah, this is a ton of fun, and I think the game has been so interesting from draft. Just, okay, you pick the late game scaling comp, and it looked like it was doing fine, but then they get too aggressive. And so now, if you're 100 Thieves and Kelsey Moses, you're saying their comp was online. They threw that game. Do I give them the same comp?
True.
And hope they throw it again, or am I scared that it was online at that point? There's so much to think about going into the last game.
First picks, like, do you leave that up? The Akali's taken, the Akali's
Yeah, where was the Akali in the first phase? What happened to Akali?
Yeah, I don't know. So actually, as we start back into that one, let's get right back into that late game fight. We saw a bunch of things happening as we start our replays, but overall in this game, it was kind of back and forth, and then you think Fox has that one they wanted. Maybe it happens again, but they knew Lorlo was the key from 100 Thieves' side.
Yeah, Lorlo was able to keep himself alive, but he had already lost 80% of his HP bar, so it was a little too late. And then the backline carries of Lost and Yasui are trying to pump out the damage, but Prismal is unfocused in the entire fight. And we're talking about how powerful Prismal is already in this point in the game. So he's able to allow his front line to front line while he positions kind of off onto the side and blow everybody up. Huge game from Prismal.
And looking out at what happened in the game, we saw Soligo going back to Alessandra. It was given up. It actually gave them a lot of control over the mid lane. Movement to the bot. He was 2-0. Then he was 4-0. Things were crazy. Heading back to 12-30 in the game. 100 Thieves 3 for 0 as they come into this play. And it was one of those plays again. I said, how do Prismal and Stunt always stay alive through these?
Yeah, it's a good play by Stunt and a little overzealous by Phil and Panda to kind of just hope that they can run through a Galio and kill the Kai'Sa right away. Doesn't pan out that way. Factoring in also the double TP and your Kale not being 11, you need to realize that this is going to turn to a 4v3 situation.
Yep.
As a late game scaling team, as being down a TP from the mid lane, you just can't go for that play. You need to sit back and let your comp do what your comp is supposed to do. And yeah, you had the man advantage at that point because the Jarvan was in the river, but gotta play to your win conditions.
Yeah, 100 Thieves definitely doing that, using their noggins. Kale went through. They played a much different game against the Kale after level 11 and after level 16. They weren't kind of like, hey, that's a power spike. Let's keep fighting. They avoided it and took their own fights, which I think really just shut Lorlo down from even doing what he did in the first game a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Lorlo still ends the game 5-3-2, and so you can kind of see the power of that Kale, but you're doing it by sacrificing much like anything in the bot side of the map. Like, you can't take fights until you're level 11 in the bot side of the map. So if you force a Drake,
Prismal and,
yeah. So if you take a Drake, you know, Lost, Yasui, I know you guys like playing aggressive Panda. You just got to give it up. You can't do that. And so they did it this time around. They got killed time and time again. And then by the time Kale was online, the enemy Kai'Sa is way too strong to deal with.
Just made it happen fast this time for 100 Thieves. The series is all tied up, and it comes down to this. Will FOXA 100 Thieves keep their dreams of being Academy MSI champions alive in Game 5? Find out after some silver scrapes. We'll be right back. In goes Phil. Can he get out alive, though? Gets himself a stopwatch to keep alive. Coming out of stasis, he will go down, and now it's going to be a kill for Prismal. Looking good this game as Lost now picks himself up a kill, and there is one now for Soligo. Just a back and forth. Justice Punch goes in, and 100 Thieves says, we'll give you the fight as they go right back with Cataclysm. Panda's the mark for Prismal now as they get taken down.
Phil.
Phil's playing the cat and mouse game over here. Tries to get a good ultimate and actually gets himself the grand entrance back to the back of the fight. In comes Stunt. That's going to knock up one. Panda's in a bad spot, but the damage able to be delivered by Lorlo here from the outside of the fight. They're shredding down 100 Thieves. A double kill for him. Killer Instinct isn't going to be enough. Oh no, Lorlo's going to go down. This is the factor they need, that key to win the fight. Lorlo down to 200 HP, and he falls to the hands of Fragus as they flash in to get the fight underway. That's going to be Phil falling as well. Yasui's going away with 200 HP. Is Lost. Is absolutely gone in the blink of an eye. That's going to be the Nexus turret going.